Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our special Marathon Talk special that we've not changed the name of special, where we talk about marathon special.
There's a lot of specials.
But it's a lot of special. It's quite a special episode. But we've got two special human beings on here, me and the Hobbit, Hayden's here. So welcome along to our Marathon Talk. So we've done another one, basically, Hayden, by popular demand, would you say?
I would say there was a lot of demand, a lot of good comments, a lot of nice comments. So yeah, thank you. They
Yeah,
were
we really
really
appreciate
welcomed.
that. Yeah, we really genuinely appreciate it. So if you're new around here, this is sort of a one-off that we do. We're gonna try and do these monthly. Let us know if you want to see more or less of them, whatever. And where we sort of really hone in on marathons, right? So on a Monday live stream, when we called that live, I talk about, like, I'm a running coach, so I talk about, well, basically it's a live audience, so whatever you want to talk about that night. But it's a little bit more skewed towards running shoes and things. But there's also now, it's great that I'm getting more coaching questions. Okay, so that's on a Monday, 8 o'clock UK time. We do that. Then on a Friday live, because we record it live because we just don't care. We have our sort of long run show, the award-winning podcast that we've got a panel of coaches on there, or run leaders, and we talk about what the everyday runners thinking about, right? So subjects, whether it's I want to get faster over 5K, or how do I fuel for a half marathon, or what should I do in winter training, all that kind of stuff, right? We pick that up on a Friday, and that's live, and you guys get involved in that as well. Okay, so we record that. So this is like a special where Hayden and I, who absolutely love marathons and marathon training, and we've done a fair few between us. Hayden, Harrison, that's a good name for you. Hayden is a 6-star finisher. He's done all the world majors, although we'll come on to that. And myself, I've done, I don't know even how many, but we've done a few. Okay, so that's the experience again. I'm a running coach. Hayden's a run leader, very experienced runners, I would say. Still learning at the marathon, I think that's fair to say, but we just love talking about marathons. Okay, so now you've got the picture. Set it for the second episode. Done a good job there, Hayden.
I think so. Do you know what? You just picked up on something really important there. You
Mm,
said you think even though we're quite experienced, we're still learning.
mm,
I would say the most experienced marathon runner in the world is probably still learning. It's one of them events.
mm.
It's one of them things. This is why we can talk about it all day because you're always going to learn. I think every time you turn up on that start line, there's something new.
Every
Something new.
marathon I've done, I've learned something.
Yeah. Agreed.
Honestly, that's
Yeah.
and I think it is that distance. Obviously, I've not done an ultra, right? So I can't comment on that.
Mm.
I have done one by accident, but it wasn't classed as an ultra. But I think it's probably the distance that you learn the most from, because you don't run the distance in training, or some like do, but whatever. But most people don't. You go through that taper maybe once, maybe the first time, so you don't know what the best thing to do with that taper is. You go through all that sort of stuff that you wouldn't normally do, right? And I think that's the things you learn from, and you pace yourself over that distance, you fuel over that distance. There's a lot that goes into it, right? And I think you're right. That's where it's you're learning. So just this week or this month, we thought we are going to talk about. We'll go back over like New York Marathon, because that was in November. That was the sort of last world major. What we do want to talk about also is the fact that now we've got Sydney coming in. I think that's an interesting topic. We'll pick that up. And I think because we will look forward the next episode we do. I think that'd be a great thing to talk about. What stuff we're looking forward to, what marathons we're doing, but why, and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit in the December, let's say, issue. And if you've got any questions that you want us to discuss in that episode, get in emailing hello@fordyruns.com and we'll pick them up. But yes, I thought we'd look back a bit, if that's all right with you, big boy.
Yep. Absolutely fine. Sounds good.
Okay, so New York City Marathon took place in November. We've both done New York, by the way. It's a world major marathon, and I think I think the New York City Marathon was a little bit lost in all the sort of furore that went on outside of that, which I think is fair to say. The actual running side of things kind of got lost because of what happened. But I think it again shows, with regards to the New York City Marathon, how New York came out to celebrate runners. I think it's the same with London. It's quite an amazing thing how the city sort of. Someone said somewhere that it's like it's the coolest day to be in the city, like in London or New York, when the marathon's on, because you get that energy, you get that vibe. It's quite an experience to be. And if you've not, don't fancy doing either of those, but but you fancy like feeling it, then I'd strongly recommend watching it, going along physically and watching it. But also, we do it at 40 Runs Running Club, volunteer. great way to experience a marathon, Hayden, don't you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to the spectating side of things as well, you're spot on about that, about being there and having that atmosphere. So our very own Ben, who joined us on a Friday, he was out in New York this November, and he had a couple of, which he calls his like cheerleaders, his two supporters that
Yeah,
went
it's
out there.
true.
And both of them literally had the absolute time of their life.
Mm.
None of them running, but they're still there. They still soak up the atmosphere. They still get it. You still get that feeling. I've been there in the past, London, before I'd even run London. I remember being up there and that emotion and that crowd, the roar. You
Mm.
even watching, you still get that, and you get that feeling in your gut, and you're like, I really want to do this. So yeah,
Mm.
absolutely, being part of that. Just go down there and spectate, and you get that buzz and that feel.
And it
Definitely.
is an overwhelming sensation at New York and London, the crowds. I mean,
Yeah.
Berlin's great, and I mean, you've done all of them, but I think those two, the crowds are just insane, right? In some areas, it's totally crazy. In some ways, and I know he's a huge fan of the channel, Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw that, but if you don't know Casey Neistat, he's like the godfather of vlogging on YouTube. He's a yeah, famous YouTuber, and he's a runner, okay, and he runs 8 to 10 miles every day, takes no rest days, right, which I think is just unbelievable. There's a video he did might have been this year, where he told his story of how he's been trying to break the sub 3 hour marathon, right? And it's a great video, even if you don't really care for vloggers and vlogging and all that sort of stuff. It's really, but you're into running like we are. It's a really good story about how he was like broken, never thought he would run again, and he's been trying. He runs the New York City Marathon every year, and he's been trying to get this sub 3, and then eventually went and did it. But he did it somewhere else. I think it was in Tucson. So this year, he went to New York City Marathon and he finally ran sub 3 at the New York City. And I saw a funny TikTok video he did about how he's not going to wave to anyone because he thought that might
That's
save
right. Yeah.
energy. It was really good.
He worked out exactly how many calories he burns for every
Yeah,
time he waves his
it was
hand and stuff.
brilliant.
Yeah,
It was
unbelievable.
so good. But I have to give him credit because he ran them in the Brooks Glycerin Max, which is a fantastic shoe as well. So again, it just shows you don't need carbon plates or any of that sort of stuff. He absolutely smashed it. And I think that was just really cool to see because of the story that was related. I sort of, I don't know, I related to it a little bit, not the times, but the efforts that's gone into him doing all this training and trying to beat this goal because the marathon is so hard.
Mm.
And then to finally see him do it, and he's, I don't know if you've seen how he, like, his missus was absolutely like going nuts
Go
when he
nuts. Yeah.
finished. Yeah, it's just, it's incredible to see. So again, that's a nice story to see come out. There were so many positive stories come out of the New York City Marathon. I say that unfortunately they've been overshadowed, but it's,
I saw New York do it. I think every year. London always seems to have a thing around it. New York always cheering that last person
it's
across the
brilliant.
finish. Do you
I
see
love
that as
that.
well? It's
Yeah,
really like dark. It gets dark early in New York this sort of
yeah,
time of year. But that last person went across the line, and you got all the floodlights up, and everyone comes out to cheer because they have like a finish line party afterwards. And that is
brilliant.
some atmosphere. That looks like it's fair play
Yeah,
to them. They're out
no,
there for a long time.
brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Well done, New York Roadrunners. Well done. Amazing. So just moving on, Hayden, because straight after the New York City Marathon, we obviously had the announcement from Abbott's World Majors that Sydney was, and I mean, it's not like it was a secret or anything, but
No,
Sydney from next year will become the seventh star, let's say. So I've got here, race secured second assessment pass to join the majors. The largest marathon in Oceania will join the series in 2025. So that's next year. There's a ballot, charity places, and I think like international runners can do it via tour companies.
correct.
There's going to be two more marathons aiming to join the series in 2027. They're rumored to be Cape Town and Shanghai, I think.
Yep.
That will then be part of a 9 medal milestone. So that's the next milestone that they're looking to add in is a 9 medal. The six star medal will stay, and you'll get that completed on the original majors that
Yep.
you do. So it's going to go. You eventually will have a ninth one, and then but that won't be available until 2027 if obviously all the others pass. Now, what's as again as a 6 star finisher? What's your thoughts on that?
To be honest with you, people have been saying it for ages. You're going to have to go for a seventh, and you go when you actually think about it, you break it down. To be fair to Abbott's, it makes sense. We've always said it within the podcast, within the club, within the running world. You need to innovate. You need to have new ideas and fresh ideas and do something new. Can Abbott's just sit back for the next 15, 20 years and have these 6 races
Mm,
and knock out these medals? No, they're thinking, let's do something new. And to be fair to them, they want to bring world major marathons to every continent in the
mm,
world. There isn't one in Australasia at the moment. There isn't one in Asia. There isn't one in Africa. So they want to bring them to these places. So from that perspective, I think it's absolutely fantastic. The biggest uproar from a lot of people is obviously people are talking about cost and traveling. But again, these are probably Americans that are talking about this, or people from the UK and Europe. They're thinking, I've got to go all the way to Australia. What about the people that live in Australia, the people that live in Asia?
mm,
This Messy Happy, absolutely fantastic YouTube channel, the pair of them,
mm.
and they're really close to getting their 6 stars now. But every time they come over to America, so we're talking Boston, Chicago, and New York, their journey is like I don't
Oh,
know,
it's awful.
36 hour
It's
journey or
awful.
something. So for them, to hop over to Australia, it works for them. So who to say is like Sydney's too far away? Too far away for who? So if you're in that part of the world, I think it's a great addition to it. I think they've done the right thing with not almost incorporating a 7 star and saying there'd be a new medal
Mm.
for this, a new medal for that, giving people a bit of time. The only downside is, I think we both alluded to it, for me to get it and you, probably we'll be drawing out our pensions by then. So
You definitely will
it's,
be. You're doing that now.
so it's gonna
I
be
did
difficult. It's a long
I
way
did
off.
ring him and say he's gonna be in his Zimmer frame when he's going round. It's, no, no, wait, I'm still gonna finish it.
Um,
Just
uh, it's,
put your
it's,
teeth
it,
back in it, get your medal.
I'd say the only other downside, apart from me drawing my pension, having to run them, is obviously there's a lot of issues with human rights, etc., with the one in Shanghai. And I think
Mm,
that's what's causing the biggest uproar. But that's going to be the last one added. So I think South Africa will go through nice and easy.
mm,
Shanghai, few politics, few bits and pieces to sort
yeah,
out. But from World Abbott's Marathon's position, I totally get it. They've
mm.
got to up their game. They've got to bring something new to the world
Sure.
and share it with everyone in the world. So I think it's a good thing.
I think it's a good. I really fancy the one. This might sound a bit weird, but I really fancy, and I love Australia by the way. I've been a few times. I really fancy the one in South Africa. I think that'd be pretty awesome
Mm,
actually.
yeah,
And I just the clues in the title, World Abbott
yeah.
Majors.
There you
It's
go.
like not the US Abbott Majors,
Yeah,
you know, and they got Toga, yeah. But you know, I think it's great bringing running to more people. I'm all for it. So it doesn't matter how you do that, and I think Sydney's a great addition to it. I think whether you want to rush out and do that, whatever, great for you. But I just, as you say, I think it gives other people in other parts of the world opportunities to savor and feel that, like we said about the New York City Marathon, that feeling. And I hope Sydney grows to be like the New York City Marathon, where Sydney stops for the day,
yeah. No,
come
I'm with
out and
you.
support all these warriors, all these heroes that are taking on 26.2 miles. It's bloody hard. It's the toughest thing you're ever going to do. And I think it'd be great to see because Sydney's an awesome place, and the people of Australia are just amazing. So yeah, I think the more they spread it around, the better. I think
I
that's
think they've also pulled it back. Pulled it forward. Forward a few weeks. So usually, traditionally, I think Sydney's round mid-September,
yeah, it was
September
September,
12th.
wasn't it?
So they're going to put it until August, just so it aligns okay with Berlin,
Berlin,
etc.
Chicago.
So I'm not sure about temperatures and heat with that, if that's going to have an impact. So
It's the reverse
who
for
knows?
us, isn't it? So that their August is their winter, isn't it?
So I suppose it's getting cooler. So well, maybe
Yeah,
that's
it'd be
part of the
probably a
thinking as
nice
well.
time to run actually, thinking about it. Because it's the other way around, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Christmas, I remember when I was there one year, it was just like outrageously hot. I was there twice for New Year's as well. Uh, but yeah, it was just really hot. So I think August is a great shout because of
I
again,
think it's also we're talking about finishing lines as well. When we start looking at his marathon, some of the I've always said it before, Tokyo, was it iconic, the finish line? No, absolutely
mm,
not. London is, you're at Buckingham Palace.
mm,
Berlin, Brandenburg Gate, amazing. New York, Central Park,
yeah,
brilliant. Boston, going through where the finish line is, going up to Boston Common. Boston's Boston. Chicago, yeah, Chicago's up in Grant Park. It's not a world fantastic finish, but it's still a great
okay,
finish. But Australia, finishing on that Sydney
I know.
over the bridge, into the Opera House, that looks special. Do you know what? We talk about marathons and worlds as well. You start looking at finish lines. What about Amsterdam's a great shout for one of the best finish
Oh,
lines around.
I tell you what, is that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I tell you that what that reminded me of was the Great North Run.
Mm.
Where you come down the South Shields, you've done what the Great North Run is. It's like the second biggest half marathon in the world after the one in Gothenburg, right? but like 60,000 people, no, 50,000 people go down South Shields, down a hill, you turn left, you've got a mile, but it feels like 15. All the way down, it's like a straight shoot into it. And it's incredible because the stadium feel of everybody on top of you, and it gets really tight, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even more tight this year. But the Olympic Park or Olympic Stadium, sorry, in Amsterdam, you're back into town. You come through the park, you come back into town, you turn right, and there's like the Amsterdam sign down there, and you're coming back into the Olympic Stadium. You go through the gates, and it's like you're entering the Colosseum,
Awesome.
and then you run basically 400 meters. No, it's not. It's not even that. It's 200 meters, maybe 300 meters on the track
It's
as
brilliant.
you come in. It's wild. It's so great. It is. If you've not done Amsterdam, I think it's sold out, bruv.
Right.
Next year.
I think
Yeah.
it's a special year next year as well. I think
I
they've
think it's his
got a,
45th in it or something,
it's, I know, yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that. I'm not
yeah,
100, but yeah, as you say, finishing lines, unbelievable.
yeah.
It's up there. And actually, to be honest with you, the start's not bad either because you're in the stadium. It's like a rave. The geezer's on the decks, right? And he's like bang, boom, 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 boom. Early in the morning, you're like, Jesus, I've been to bed. You know what I mean? And you're all standing there on the track, and you sort of they take you round. You come in. The runners come into the track. You walk down the stairs into the stadium. You walk down the stairs onto the track, and
Brilliant.
like you got the infield section where you're waiting, and like the waves go round the track, and yeah, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
I would thoroughly recommend to do the Amsterdam Marathon, and in a way, I think Amsterdam should be a major. I mean, it has that world major feel to it. I maybe,
Just brings another one to Europe, doesn't it? Like we were talking about before, trying
yeah,
to take it around the world. We've got two in Europe, three in North America. So I can see one coming in South America within time. But yeah,
yeah.
but
South
Amsterdam's a
America.
good
I
shout.
wonder if Brazil has got a big marathon or anything like that. That'd be worth us looking up for next month. Have a look at that. See if there's any. We should have a look at that. See if there's any that we fancy.
Because I think Mexico runners in Mexico, oh, they are hardcore. They are
That's
really
true.
dedicated. These
Mexico would be a good one.
You get a lot of these Mexican runners all over the world. Some of them, they're absolute machines. And they have the best support as well. Everywhere you go in
Oh,
these world marathons,
in
the support on
Berlin,
the
in
side of the road.
Berlin, the Mexican bit.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ,
yeah,
they're nuts. I
yeah,
think it was an epic part. Epic. I remember forget when I was running Berlin lot, not this year, year before, and I was at the Mexican bit, and Helen came in. You know, Hell's Bells. She
yeah,
came in at about 3,000 miles an hour, cut in front of me, and I was with Ben. She didn't see us, cut in front of me because she was going so fast. And her husband was just by the Mexican crowd.
yeah.
She gave him a kiss and she zoomed off. And I turned to Tim and I went, is it Tim? No, it's not.
Tiff, Tiff.
Tiff. And I said to him, what about me? And he looks at me like, what's going on? And he didn't know what. And I don't think he twigged that it was me. He's brilliant. But yeah, it was just by that. And I remember it because it was by the
Yeah,
Mexican bit
yeah.
in the Berlin. If you've done the Berlin Marathon, you'll know exactly.
Same in Chicago. You wait, Chicago, the Mexican bit probably is one. Probably, I'd say it's one of the best bits of the Chicago
Really,
Marathon.
the
The
loudest
Mexican
bit.
quarter.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't get them in
brilliant.
London, do we? The Mexican
No, you
bit.
don't do it. No,
I'd like to see
no.
that. So if you're from that
Can I ask a
community,
question on that? Just quickly, see what your thoughts are. With the support in London,
mm,
do you feel as though the majority of the support was English, British? Whereas when I go to his world majors, I find that the support is the crowds, as you just alluded to. In Berlin, I've seen Mexican, loud Mexican,
diverse, more
America. It's
diverse.
very diverse. But I find London, maybe I just was a bit blinded to it. I'm not sure. I don't remember it being as diverse.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying. And again, just to be clear, it's not being critical. I think
No,
I
no.
think I think you're right. I think certain certain groups of supporters stand out.
Mm,
I think that's what you're trying to say, right? I think certain groups of supporters stand out. Where in London, it's just like everybody's like from home and
yeah,
they're all the way around. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It feels. I tell you what, it feels like more family and friends at London are supporting, other than like big groups are coming out to
yeah,
support. That's where I think where it's like organised. Maybe that's because I think in London, if it's organised, chances are they're probably volunteering. So
yeah,
like the run clubs, like we do, we have a big team of volunteers turn out. So maybe the run clubs, um, and we're not talking about the sponsored, like the Lucas Aid bit or anything like that, where it's all, just marketing. We're talking about like the groups of people who are turning up to support. Yeah,
yeah.
I know what you're saying. I felt that at
Mm,
certain races. There's like groups of people who are there to support that you don't necessarily see at London, which is
Yeah,
yeah. So yeah, but again, that gives each race a different feel
definitely.
to it. But
Yeah.
yeah, the Mexican pie Berlin's just wild. You're like, what's going on here? But yeah, I think
Yeah.
Mexico would be a good marathon. So I'll tell you what then. So I mean, looking back, right, this year, is there is there like a marathon that you looked at and you thought, wish I'd done that?
I we had a bit chat about this before. You said about what do you think of this year marathon wise. There's actually one that I didn't run, and I
Mm,
don't know if I thought to myself, I wish I'd run it, but I was really impressed with the turnout and the way it went and the amount of people that went there had a good experience. To be fair, with our very own Manchester Marathon this year,
mm,
I've the reports I've never really fancied it, and even watching it, do I
mm,
fancy it? Maybe not, but the amount of people that done it and come back with really good reports, good reviews,
mhm.
I would say, yeah, with the resources they have and the size of it and everything, I'd say probably our most impressive Manchester this year.
I'm with you on that one. Oh, it's weird, aligned again. I've got to give them a shout out. Um, if I wasn't doing London in 2025, I'd go and run Manchester.
Hmm.
I was lucky enough to go up there um, this year to see it, to be involved in it. I was blown away by the amount of people that were doing it, by the support in the parts that I saw. Now
Hmm.
I know because I've run the half marathon course. It was a bit quiet in places, but that's fine. Um, but I think they really, really organised it well. The only thing, as always, is getting out of there because you're stuck to the trams and stuff like that. But the event village was in like the cricket ground, so that was good. People had a chance to chill out and stuff like that, so that was good. And I think that event is only going to get better. I think that's the thing. I think that event's going to only get better. It's sold out, I think already. I might
Yeah.
be wrong.
No, you're right.
Um,
Yeah, you're right.
it's on the same day as London this year or next year because I think because of Easter basically,
Yeah.
which is a shame. But if you don't get into London, you could do that. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think before this year, I didn't really have much interest in doing it. Um, and after being up there, and being lucky enough to, get to know some of the people who organise it and some of the people who marshal it. There's a guy up there, and I spoke about it on the podcast before, who's an absolute hero on the finish line. Who was like, he must have saved. I'm not just making this up. He must have saved like 10 or 20 people's lives because they come through the line absolutely ruined, and he was catching them before they fell to the ground and taking him straight to a St John's ambulance person. Like,
Wow.
it was unbelievable to see. He was like, honestly, he was a hero. I saw him this year at the Manchester half. They put him put him in another area to sort of organise that. I think it was down towards the tram station. But yeah, I just think that's only going to get bigger because Manchester's such a great place. I really enjoyed being up there when I was up there, the Manchester half again. I just think that will grow in stature, and I
Mm,
think that's a good thing.
mm.
You'll probably see a higher quality of elite field probably go up there as well now,
Yep.
with obviously Adidas involved in that, or have been involved in it. Whether that changes, Puma did the half, but yeah, I think that's probably a good shout actually in terms of looking back. One that I kind of or one that I saw that I wish that
Mm.
I'd like to do now, which is weird because if I look at Brighton, I've got no interest, like
No,
zero.
agreed.
Yeah, I've got absolutely no interest in that. What about would you say is looking outside of the UK then? Is there like because people were saying to me about coming over to do Dublin, which I'd like to go and do something in Ireland, like a half or something like that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure the Dublin Marathon's something for me. But that said, never say never, right?
Yeah.
I think it's great. Again, this is the brilliant thing with these marathons is that you get to travel to these places and you can,
Definitely.
you can add your running into your traveling and you get to see all these cool places. Dublin's an amazing place. But is there a race? I know we've got Valencia still to come. That's one I fancy.
Actually, talking on Valencia, obviously because of what's happened over the last
Yeah,
month
so
or so with the
sad.
flood. So Valencia's upcoming, beginning of December. It's about 3.5, 4 weeks away. Um, whether it's going to go ahead, they still haven't 100% decided whether it'll
Mm,
go ahead yet. And tell you if it does, it's going to be emotional, I imagine,
hmm
because you get a lot. I was at the Valencia half, and the majority of the field was made up from people that lived in Valencia or lived on that
Right.
east coast of Spain. It's very localized, and I can imagine the marathon's going to be very much the same. So that's going to be an emotional one. It
Mhm.
will be one to remember for people doing it. So if it does go ahead, as you said before, I think that's a flat, fast course. So
It's very fast course.
yeah, really, I think it's got the most. It had the most Boston qualifiers there last year that they've ever had
Really?
any race in history. So yeah, really fast race. So that would be one that I'd like to do outside, definitely. But I think as well, like you said, I touched on Dublin. A lot of the ones that I'd like, not like to do, the ones I like the idea of, they're the tough ones. Like Dublin's
Yeah.
silly, Loch Ness, it'd be beautiful, but bloody hell, I don't know
Oh,
if
I
I
don't
can.
know
I
whether I
don't know if I
fancy.
could do it.
I don't know if I fancy it. After doing Yorkshire, and I like Yorkshire mainly because
Mm.
Toad ran with no training, so that just kept me amused until he left me, and then I caught him up again. But it was quite so awful. It's not because I really enjoyed Yorkshire, but it was a bit boring in places,
Mm,
and that was because of the weather. By the way, I ran in a storm, right? So nobody was out because it was a storm. People were told not to go out, right? So
yeah,
just put that out there. But we had a chat amongst ourselves, and we was like, I wonder if this is like look what Loch Ness is like because it was like just it was in the trees and we was just on a road out in the middle of nowhere. It was like, oh.
probably, yeah,
And it
probably
felt
right.
like a training run, which was fine because I ran that as a training run. I'd done Berlin 2 weeks before. I was just looking at Speaker, laughing my head off. But I think I don't know. Yeah, again, I'd like to do Loch Ness. It looks beautiful up there, but as you say, they're the tougher ones to do. And I think Dublin. You know what? Now I've said that, I think I kind of regret saying it. I think Dublin actually, and I'm not saying this to be off the cuff, but if I went over there to run it as like a training run,
Yeah. So I think
right?
it was, what was it, a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, I think that again, I don't want to be blasé because I'm the first person to tell you how hard these things are.
Yeah, yeah,
Right? They are ridiculously hard. But as somebody who is experienced and trains basically all year to do them, I feel that is something I could say, you know what, I'm going to treat that as a long run. I'll take it, run easy pace, and just, even run, walk it in for myself, take it, do that. I think Dublin, now I've said that actually, because the people of Ireland are so amazing, I
mm.
think that would be a good one to do. I wouldn't mind doing one like in Italy.
Oh, lovely. Well, I've actually we're talking about doing the half. It goes back to what you just said. And I know we keep banging on about it, but marathons, I love them. I love the training plan, but they are so hard. So I've
Yeah.
got I've got quite into this half marathon thing traveling around.
Yeah.
And Lake Garda do a half marathon there that one of the club members done this year, and that looked absolutely
Really?
stunning.
When's that?
I think it was around about May time, but it did
Oh, I
look,
bet that's beautiful.
yeah, she literally was right around Lake Garda. It looked absolutely stunning. So yeah, definitely, I fancy that one. But as you said, there's just so many all over the world: marathons, half marathons, different events.
Yeah,
I'd
you
like to do
don't
them all.
need to be the restricted to these world majors.
Definitely not.
I think I mean, we spoke about it on the bigger show, let's call it.
Yeah.
We spoke about this before. Don't get caught up in the hype around the world majors. They're brilliant things, they're beautiful things, and as you said, the cities stop and supports mad. And I would thoroughly recommend you do, one of them. Okay, if you want to get into this marathon business. But don't neglect those other ones. Like you loved Edinburgh. The big problem with Edinburgh for me, I was thinking about doing the half again. I really fancy because I just again enjoyed Scotland. I enjoyed
Mm.
Edinburgh. The people are lovely, but it was the ball ache of getting home. Like you finished out outside of town, and that for me, as somebody who I think everyone knows a neurodivergent in terms of traveling and public transport and queuing and stuff like that. That's like a worst nightmare for me. So that's what puts me off. But if I could finish in the middle of Edinburgh, I'd be
Yeah.
there. I'd go up there in May and do it 100%.
So I'm
Great.
not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think the half marathon's on the same day as the marathon. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it,
Oh,
oh,
is
it's
it
the
on
same.
Saturday?
I think it's Saturday. So maybe it doesn't finish at the same point. I'm not sure. People
I
have to
think
let
it
us know.
does. I think it does.
Right.
I think it does. Someone said to me about it. But
Going
yeah,
back, no, but you say I really love Edinburgh. I like the experience I had in Edinburgh, and it's been well documented. It's my fastest time I ever run. I love that side of it.
mm,
But I agree with you. Up at about 20 miles, 21 miles, round by the country house and stuff. That was
oh,
quiet. That was going alongside like a two-way, people coming that way,
oh,
you going that way. It wasn't the most
no.
prettiest one, but I enjoyed it. I still loved the experience. But again, it
Yeah,
comes
yeah.
back to how we started this program. I've got this thing and this passion for marathon running.
Mm.
I don't want to go and run 100 marathons a year or
No,
anything
no,
like that.
no.
No, or one every day or them challenges. Just want to pick out them ones and just think I want to target that one and I really want to do it. And as you said, it doesn't have to be one of them world majors.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one now. It's like more about yeah, all right, try and if I can do a world major like in a year, if at all possible. And again, like just to be, I'm going to put this out there because just to be clear. So my London Marathon places every year I've run London Marathon is through a charity place.
Yeah,
All right, I always do it through a charity place. Okay, let's just put that absolutely out there. I was in the amazing position to be taken to New York by New Balance and Believe in the Run. That was how that bib was sorted out for me. So again, total transparency. Berlin was for a sports store company. London next year, charity place. Paris is on my of my own steam. All right, so I'm just putting that out there. Okay, so just you think I'm getting all these bibs and doing all this stuff, but I'm going in the ballots like everybody else.
yeah.
Um, so if I get in a ballot next year for something, fantastic. But if I don't, well, I think that, um, to wrap it all up, I think what we've agreed on is that, look at Manchester, Dublin, or if you're in another part of the world, Italy or whatever, and you'll still have just a similar sort of experience as you would Amsterdam. Amsterdam, brilliant. I still just love my Amsterdam medal. Right, I tell you, is actually framed up there. That's how much fun I had at it. I got the other ones up there. They're marathon medals behind me. I point on the podcast. You won't be able to see, but I've got like marathon medals. They're the only ones hung up there. But up there, I've got my first Great North Run medal, which was I think 2016, something like that, 2017. And next to it, in a frame, is my Amsterdam marathon. That's how
Brilliant.
much fun I had there. I just absolutely love it. Every time I think about it, it brings a smile to my face. But yeah, I think just to circle back and to close off the episode, if you are, thinking about now, maybe you've done one and it was a major, or think about now going and exploring another part of the world, yeah, or another part of the country. Don't just stick to, these majors. And if you're doing your first, yeah, okay. The majors are brilliant, and there's something to, especially if you've got to raise money for charity. It's always sounds funny, but it's always easier if it's like a London Marathon or
Yeah.
New York Marathon, whatever. But there's a lot to be said for the Yorkshire Marathon. It was really well organised. It was really good, and some of the more sort of Edinburgh and these sort of ones and further afield, they're good marathons to do. Don't be just so focused on the World Marathon Majors just because the hype that goes around. It's
Another tip I'd like to say as well is
mm,
if you haven't done your first marathon or you've done a marathon local and you're thinking you'd like to go and do one of these big ones somewhere else in the world, but you're not that sure, you're a bit uneasy, have a look at the relays because the marathon
mm,
relays where you get the four of you, that gives you that race day
mhm,
environment, that race day vibe, that
mhm,
feel. You become part of it, and you might feel comfortable and confident for the next year to go back. I know Edinburgh done it. I think it's Munich that do it or Frankfurt. It's one of their two, and you start and finish in the stadium like Amsterdam. And
mhm.
because there's the four of you, what happens in that one is when you get back to the stadium, your other three team members join you and you all do the lap of the track at the finish to come round.
Wow.
So all four of you together, your team. So events like that, thinking about like that, that you take away a bit of that anxiety about going abroad to
Yeah.
do a marathon. You might have done 5 or 6 marathons in the UK, but think, I'm really worried about
Oh,
going
yeah.
abroad to do one. Give one of them a go. And between the four of you, it's a lot cheaper. You might have a better experience out there, four of you having a bit of sightseeing. They're a really good shout. And say Edinburgh, the one's closer to home. Some of them do it too.
Yeah. And as we always say, if you're in the UK, New York, whatever, volunteer. Find out how
Yeah,
you can volunteer at these events. It's
yeah,
another great way of being part of it, feeling it, seeing it, understanding it, smelling it,
yeah.
um, and getting that feel for it. And then maybe do it the year after. It's another sort of way to go. So yes, so there we go. So that's another award-winning. Well, it's not yet. Episode of our very originally titled Marathon Talk with the Hobbit and FORDY. We hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you've got any questions that you'd like us to answer in December's, should we say we do one in December? We'll try and do a monthly
Yeah.
in December's edition. We're going to try and look forward in the December one, the Christmas special. Hayden's going to wear a Christmas jumper. Um, and we're gonna and we're gonna talk about that. So if you've got any questions, send that in hello@40rounds.com. Again, join us on a Friday live for our normal regular podcast at 7 o'clock UK time with the team, all the panel of coaches and leaders and hosts and stuff, and cocking about, or if running shoes, or you've got a running coach question. Then join me on a live stream on Monday at 8 o'clock as well. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're part of the Facebook group. Make sure you leave us a very nice review on whatever platform you're listening to. This. What else have I got to plug, Hayden? I think that's about it.
I think you're done.
Join the running club. That's free. You're welcome. I think that's it. Yeah. So there's the outro. We shall see you all later next time on the originally titled Marathon Talk. Say bye, Hayden.
See you later.